Apple hasn't given up on maps just yet. The company bought Locationary. Now, this is a company that is similar to, say, a Yelp or Foursquare. They take business data information, combine it with maps. And so, Apple, not giving up on maps. I'm joined by Chris Siacha. So, we know that Google Maps is the go-to map program. We know that Apple came out with their iMap, and it was kind of a disaster. Why make this move? I mean, we know they lost out on Waze. Is it just that they really want to go after the Google Map business?
Well, yeah, Apple really made a point to build Apple Maps up in its last version of iOS, iOS 6. It was pretty much a disaster. People were very displeased with it. It actually forced CEO Tim Cook to come out and apologize and recommend other mapping applications, including Google Maps. Now with this Locationary purchase, which kind of crowdsources data and puts it into eventually Apple Maps to make the platform a better experience for users, Apple's really serious about upgrading its maps here.
And everyone's going after this business. I mean, not just Google, but obviously we've got Facebook with their check-in function, and they're really ramping that up and building that out. Foursquare, obviously Foursquare is very well known and it has a big adoption rate. What's the key to this? Is it the ads combined with the business location?
Well, I mean, there's really not going to be much money made from maps, at least for right now. It's really all about building the location and building the service into a better user experience on mobile. People really want to know where they're going. It seems people are increasingly relying on these GPS functionalities, maps. Google Maps is the leader. It's by far and away but Apple's not going to sit here and just sit idly by while Google continues to entrench its lead with its latest purchase of Waze.
Well, one way, obviously, you can make money is, I know I did this the other day. I was in an area I was not familiar with, needed to stop and eat, had no idea where to stop and eat, got my map out and just started looking for places nearby to eat. There you go. That restaurant got my business because of that map function. So I think that that's really who's going to want to really put money into these maps, or the businesses that want to drive customers like myself that are in an unfamiliar area.
Yeah, small businesses are really going to take advantage of this. It's not going to be enormous amounts of money for companies like Apple or Google. It's really all about building the user experience and helping out the smaller businesses. It's incremental revenue for these companies, but again, at the end of the day, it's still revenue, and that's something shareholders want to see.
All right, so this isn't like a make or break thing for Apple, right? I mean, it's probably chump change to them as far as cash. We don't know how much they paid for them.
No, the company did not disclose the amount that it paid for Locationary. I would expect that it's probably far less than what Google paid for Waze, which is a little over $1 billion. Apple's been pretty stringent and pretty inflectionary about how they spend their money. They don't have a very loose pocketbook when it comes to that. They're pretty stringent. I would expect that this is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of between $10 and $50 million. All
right, well, there you have it. Apple buying Locationary. So they haven't given up on maps just yet. That's Chris Siacha, and I'm Deborah Borchar with The Street.